we shall discuss the formation of gametes. We know that gamete is the sexual unit. So how it forms? And the process of gamete formation is called gametogenesis, means formation of gametes. Now first we shall say in the unicellular livings like Chlamydomonas, Euglena, this is Chlamydomonas and this is Euglena. In this, the nucleus divides on maturity and develop into gametes. The gametes are usually motile. Understand that? And sometimes it also non-motile, and the non-motile one is considered as female gametes. So in this way the cell develop into the gametes. Now in multicellular livings, first in lower plants like Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, the male gamete is called Antheridium, it's plural, Antheridia. And similarly the female gamete is called Archegonium, the Antheridia is motile and their motility is due to presence of flagella, and Archegonium is non-motile. So and in but in the higher plants, male gamete found in pollen grain, which is located in anther, while the female gamete found in ovule, ovule. Thus, the formation of male gamete in plant is called microgametogenesis. It is also known as microsporogenesis. In the same way, the formation of female gamete, that is egg, the formation of egg is called megagametogenesis, or it is also known as megasporogenesis. Both are the same. Microgametogenesis means formation of male gamete, and megagametogenesis formation of female gametes. They both are the forms in the plant. In animals, the male gamete is called sperm, and the female gamete is called ovum, and the formation of sperm is called spermatogenesis, and the formation of ovum, that is female gamete, is called oogenesis. In this way, these two means both sperms and ovums are produced in the male and female organisms. Now, after the formation of gametes, the transfer of gamete is transfer of gametes. Now, the transfer of gametes, how the male gametes come in contact to the female gamete, that is called transfer. In usually algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes. Algae is exclusively found in water, and but water is the main medium for all these. Algae is exclusively found in the water, so water is, in the water the motile flagella, the motile gametes move and come in contact of female gamete for the fusion. But in the bryophytes and pteridophytes, they are also found on the testicles. So, but at the time of sexual union, the water is essential. This is the antheridium. This is archegonium. In presence of water, they swim and come in contact of female for the fertilization. So, water is essential at the time of sexual union. But in the higher plants, by the process pollination, the pollen grain from anther to stigma, means the pollination, by the process of pollination, and the pollination is transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. So these are the pollen, and for transfer of from that to stigma is called pollination. Means it is anther. So it is the male unit, that is adresium, and it is gynosium. So transfer of pollens from the anther to stigma is that is from the male unit transfers from anther to the female unit, that is his egg, which is found in the ovule, that we will study about in the later. So transfer of this from male unit from one plants from the anther to a stigma where the female unit is present. That transfer is known as pollination. Means transfer of pollen grains from anther to a stigma. But in the animals, the male one inoculate their sperm in the female reproductive system. In the animals, the male one inoculates their sperms in the female reproductive system, that is in the female's body, and that process is called copulation. So the male, in this way, the sperms sends to the female body for fertilization. This process is called copulation. So we see that transfer of gametes takes place through different ways, both in plants and the animals, but their main aim is how the male gamete is come in contact to the female gametes for fertilization. Now fertilization. Fertilization, it is also called syngamy. Syngamy means fusion of male and female gametes. Fusion of male gametes and female gametes is called fertilization. Fertilization is of two types. One is external fertilization, and next one is internal fertilization. As the external, means outside, means it takes out of the body. It takes out of the body, and internal means inside, it takes inside the body. In these examples, frogs, fishes, in that mammals, reptiles, birds, etc. In that body. As for example, in the frog, suppose these are frogs, they gives egg egg is comma, and the sperm from males come to this, and the fertilization takes place, and they fertilized. Means the both male and female release their eggs and sperms. The female one release eggs, and the male one release sperm, and which fertilize together forms zygote. In this, the sperm goes come in contact to female ones, that is female's egg, and fertilization takes place and forms zygote. That takes place inside the body, and that is out of the body. So it is known as external, and it is known as internal. It is known as internal. But in the males, in the plants, this is ovule, this is egg, and this is pollen grain. By this, male gametes and male gamete come in contact. Male gamete plus egg forms zygote, and the process is called fertilization. This takes place in the plants. So in the animals, external and internal fertilizations. On the frogfish, where the male and female both release their sperms and eggs, and which fertilize out of the body, and here male one releases sperms, and female one that goes in the body of the females, and where it come in contact of female's unit, that is ovum, and they combine to form zygote. So in that way, the fertilization takes place and the zygote is formed. Now post-fertilization change means when the zygote is formed. One thing you should remember that if the organism is haploid, means having one complete set of chromosomes, the zygote undergoes meiosis, cell division, because male gametes is haploid, female gametes is haploid. They fertilize, forms zygote, that is 2n, diploid condition. But because the organism is haploid, so it undergoes meiosis, and due to meiosis, the N means haploid cells are formed, and which develops into new individuals. But if the organism is diploid, if the organism is diploid, means having two complete sets of chromosome, diploid, then the first meiosis takes place. First meiosis takes place for the formation of gametes, that is, this is the twin cell, this is the twin cell, this one is male, this one is female. Now meiosis gets sperm, and after meiosis it also gives ovum, and now they both fertilize on zygote, which develop into organism. So we see that we can say that in the haploid organism, meiosis takes place after the zygote, and in diploid conditions, meiosis takes place before the zygote. So this point must should remember. Now the zygote, now here one condition. Now the zygote undergoes cell division and cell differentiation. By this, the zygote undergoes cell division to form tissues, which forms organ, which will give organ systems, and finally develops into organism. So in this way, after the zygotes, the organism develops. And one thing, the living cell, the fertilization, those animals in which internal fertilization takes place, they either lay eggs or sometimes give birth young ones. Those animals which lay eggs are called oviparous, and those animals which gives youngs are called viviparous. And the formation of egg is called ovulations. In the egg contain yolk, and before the around the egg there is a hard shell of calcium to protect it. That is the shell. Now this yolk is sufficient to give the food to young who develop inside it. Understand? So from the yolk, the embryo which is developed inside it, the baby birds or baby child which is developed inside it, they take their food. But in viviparous, the nourishment takes place by placenta. What gives, and after the completion of their times, they come out of the body. So in this way, the oviparous and ovulation, and those eggs which having yolk for their young one, they are called cladoid eggs. Cladoid means self-nourishment eggs, means which can self-nourishment by the yolk. Achha. In this oviparous, the young one takes their foods from the placenta, and after the completion of its time, it comes out of the body. And in the plant, the zygotes means takes place. The zygote forms after the union of male gamete and egg, and this zygote is either covered, that is known as seed coat. If this developed into seed which contains embryo, and this if the seed having seed coat, that is called angiosperm, and if the seed coat is absent, then it is known as gymnosperm. After some days, this seed develops and gives rise the new plants. So in this way, the fertilization takes place and the new organism develops. Although about this you will study in the coming chapters, but it is a short descriptions which takes place during the reproductions of both male and both plants and animals. So in the next topic we shall come about the plant reproductions and animal reproduction in details.